All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 7 of Forbidden Radio. I am your host, Noah, joined with my other host, Angel, and we have our jefe, our captain, Armani, with us today. I'm sorry, guys. It's after work. I am tired. So, what's going on, guys?
It's- I mean,
Welcome
it's
back,
it
Armani.
makes sense.
Second time
Yeah,
guest.
thank you, thank you. I mean, it's an easy mistake. I mean, Angel Armani, both A's.
Oh
We
yeah,
both,
same name basically.
yeah, basics, copy and paste.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, guys? Episode 7. Here we are.
Episode 7, lucky number 7.
Right? Have you guys seen that movie Seven?
Yes,
I have seen like a third of it. I never finished it.
What's in the box?
it's
What's in the
really good.
box?
I probably watched that way too young.
Yeah, when I
10.
Yeah,
was
that
like,
is.
how people have like vivid memories of what their
Mm-hmm.
first movie was. It was like maybe
Mhm.
like Lion King or like Prince of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
My first vivid memory of a movie was 5 years old, and it's Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, I watched that
Yeah,
too.
Jesus.
I don't know what the point of that was. I remember that vividly. We were living in Boston, and my dad made us all sit down. And my older brother, he was able to get out of it because he was like, "I don't feel good," and he went to bed. But my dad made me and my sisters watch it. I remember the opening scene of like the long highway and the car, and yeah, scarred me for life. But anyways, welcome to Forbidden Origins episode 7, guys. Thanks for having me.
Forbidden
Excited.
Radio, sir. Forbidden Radio.
Forbidden Radio, Forbidden Origins, same brand. But yeah, Forbidden Radio episode 7. Thank you for having me. Thank you, thank you.
I
What are
mean,
we getting into today?
like I say, we can't say no. You're our boss. So, anyways,
I know, right?
yeah. So, anything happening with the company, Armani? You wanna get out there?
Yeah, so what? We're already a month in with Echoes of the Old Universe, a
Mm.
collection of short stories um, during the War for the Universe out already. It's been a month. The sales are hitting hard. Got new people joining the Discord daily, new followers on TikTok. Socials are hitting. I mean, it's all the work that you guys put in. You guys, met each other less than a year ago and was able to put together a 347-page book in less than a year and publish it. Like, that's a fascinating feat. Most authors in their prime can't put out a 200-page book within a year, and six writers, like six dudes on the internet, are able to put out a book that people love in less than a year. So that's an amazing feat. Yeah, Echoes of the Old Universe, a collection of short stories that take place during the War for the Universe, is currently out. Eric and I are in the lab working on the Old Universe Book 2, the continuation of the main storyline. Working right now with an artist on the side to create the official animation style for Forbidden Origins. That's a medium that we want to get into later on this year and finally turn this company into more than just a books, comics, and graphic novel realm. Want to turn it more into a multimedia company, so that's something we're working with. We actually just brought on a new team members. I just like yelled, wow, like screaming into my mic. Sorry for whoever's listening. I just went deaf. We also just brought in like six new team members. Brought in a linguist, someone to help us create languages in the old universe. So we have like what 30 plus planets, and it's gonna be awesome to see each planet have their own language. Brought on a comic book writer and artist. Brought on three new writers, and then we brought on another artist. So yeah, it's a lot of things that just happened actually within the last week. So Eric and I have been doing on the side, and looking forward to seeing how that grows and how you guys work with them and where we take the company within the next few months. That's my 15 seconds of rundown. Now let's get into this.
All right. So we have Armani here for a very special episode that I've actually always wanted to do. Um, so DC is getting a revamp. Essentially, it's getting a reboot for their movie universe, and James Gunn is the head of it. I, for one, am very excited to see where it goes. Angel, I don't know how much into DC you are.
I really like DC, so I'm very excited for this.
Yeah,
But I have not been keeping up much with like all the news that's been coming out. I have
Mhm.
heard some stuff. Like I know a Green Lantern show is in the works, the Batman and Robin movie, and Supergirl, I think.
Mhm.
So yeah, that sounds very exciting.
I didn't know there was a Batman and Robin movie in the works. Actually, wait, I think I did know that.
Yeah, it's called The Brave and the Bold. Well,
Yes, who's directing that?
Andy Muschietti. He's the Muschietti. He's the guy that directed the Flash movie.
And it, right?
Yeah.
Both it movies. Yeah. Okay. And then you said, Angel, you said there was a Batgirl movie coming out or a TV show?
No, Supergirl.
A Supergirl. Is it a show or a movie?
Yeah,
It's a
I
movie.
believe it's a movie. Yeah.
Movie.
So
Interesting.
I decided to bring Armani on for this. I really wanted to get Jay too, one of our fellow writers. He's super into DC, but I know
Yeah.
Armani was super into like Zack Snyder's work. So I really wanted to I wanted to hear his thoughts on James Gunn and his potential take. Before we get into that, let me lay the groundwork first. So instead of phases, it looks like they're going for chapters, which I actually really like. It's already differentiating itself from the MCU. Instead of phases, we got chapters. Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And the movies we're getting for the first chapter is Superman, which is, I think, setting the groundwork for everything. The Authority, which is actually they're they're a team of heroes. They were kind of made to be like a punk, like going against like traditional superheroes back in the 90s. It's very British. I forgot who made it, but I think the writer was British. It's very British. The Brave and the Bold, which is the new Batman and Robin movie. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is based off that comic run, which I heard was really good. I haven't read it yet, but I really want to read that. And then a Teen Titans film is in the works. What else do we have here? We have Creature Commandos for TV, Peacemaker for TV, Waller for TV, which no points for creativity on that title. Lanterns, which is what Angel brought up. Paradise Lost, which is the Wonder Woman TV show. Well, I think it's gonna be more of just about the Amazons. They say it's basically Game of Thrones crossed with DC. Booster Gold, which is about Booster Gold, the time traveling hero. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, that guy is a loser, but he's also really funny in the comics. He's basically Peter Quill. So,
Mhm.
and then an Untitled Arkham series. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
So that's chapter 1 of James Gunn's DC.
Yeah, and then we're also getting video games to go with that. I don't know if Suicide Squad is going to be a part of this. There is a multiverse element apparently to that. I haven't played it because I don't want to touch that game. But yeah, Armani, how about we get your thoughts on stuff? So
Before that, why don't you want to touch that Suicide Squad game?
looks like garbage, dude. It just
Really?
and here's why I think so, because each character that they chose, what was it, Harley Quinn, King Shark, the Boomerang dude, is Captain Boomerang, right? And then I forgot the
Yeah.
fourth guy. Who's the fourth guy?
Let me see.
Deadshot.
Deadshot. Yeah. Each character
Yeah.
has in the comics they have their own fighting style, own unique fighting style, and yet in the
Yeah.
game they're shooting guns, all of them.
Oh, that's
That
boring.
doesn't make any sense. It looks very stiff.
Even Boomerang, Captain Boomerang?
Yes, he's shooting shot. He has a
Oh,
shotgun.
that's dumb.
I think King Shark. You think King Shark would be like the Hulk, just stomping around, hitting crap?
Mm.
He's got like
Yeah.
a minigun,
Oh,
Oh.
and that's his primary mode of attacking. Harley Quinn, she's got her revolver, which is fine. I think she has a baseball bat too. And Deadshot, that kind of makes sense. You know, he's
Yeah.
the assassin. But I don't know. It looks generic too. The enemies look really generic, even though I know they're Brainiac bots. They're like possessed Brainiac soldiers, bots. You have the possessed Brainiac Justice League. I don't know. It just doesn't look that good. Plus, it's another live service game. I'm kind of burnt out on that, except for Helldivers.
yeah. I thought it was gonna be like a story game when they first announced it, so I was
Exactly.
excited for it. Yeah, but then when I heard that it was live service, I was like, yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
interested.
Yeah, plus it's like
I don't
20
even know.
bucks per
I don't even
skin.
know what light service is.
Oh God.
I'm not a big gamer, so what's light service?
Live service is basically Fortnite. Think Fortnite, where they have different seasons, they have battle passes, they have paid skins. Call of Duty has that too, especially with Warzone. Basically,
Yeah.
any modern shooter game, for the most part, be it first person or third person, is a live service game. Diablo 4 is is basically a live service game too. Um, yeah, they all have like
Interesting.
battle passes now. I'm not to say that,
Yeah, and it's
that's
like,
not cool, but it's just yeah. Sorry, Angel, go ahead. I cut you off.
oh no, you're fine. It's like an online multiplayer where like you queue up and join like other people in a lobby, and then you're each playing as like a different
Mhm.
character, and you have
Mhm.
to like play against the enemies basically.
Overwatch,
In-
you can classify that as live service too.
Yeah, yeah.
Never played Overwatch, but I've been wanting to get Helldivers too because it looks awesome.
Dude, that'd be a fun time to play with you guys. We got to make content on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
that'd
I
be
still
really
haven't
fun.
played it.
And
It's
it's
crossplay.
not just PC, right? Is it?
No, it's
What?
PS5. I play on the PS5.
And it's PC too.
So like if Angel were to get it, if you were to get it, I think if I have Eric on PSN. If you were to get it, we can literally squad up. Not all of us together.
That'd be
It's a
fun.
4-man, but like
Yeah.
we'll
Hmm.
put up on our TikToks for Forbidden Origin plays.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we should definitely do that. Play more games together as like Forbidden Origins and let people hop on. I know Angel
Mm-hmm.
has a Twitch account, so
Mm-hmm.
use that. Be
Yeah.
sick.
Eventually, I will make a Twitch account, or we make a new one, and go from there. But yeah,
And
Armani,
play.
what do you think? What are your thoughts on the new slate on on chapter 1, Gods and Monsters?
I mean, I think it sounds cool. Everything with DC, I love. Just that my issue is James Gunn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have no issue with his direction. I have no issues with his storytelling. It's just that everything he does seems like it's in the same realm of like of comedy, right? It's like in the same realm of being witty, being snarky, uh, being being more on the dark humor side, and
Yeah,
that's
kind of like
fine, right?
edgy.
Like yeah, like edgy, like that's fine with all the projects he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then with Peacemaker. Like okay, cool, but bringing that style into all of DC, which I hope he doesn't, right? Because if he does that with all of DC, then it's gonna just be I don't want to see that in every project. And my biggest fear is that he's gonna bring that style to Superman, and people can argue that Superman's like a what's it called like what do they call him, a Boy Scout. They
Mm-hmm.
can argue that he's a Boy Scout, that he needs to be all stoic and smiley and American, but I I grew up. This is hilarious. I sound like I'm 40. I grew up in the prime
Mm-hmm.
of like Man of Steel, BVS, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I got that Superman in the height of like my own creativity and the height of my own adolescence. So that's like engraved in my brain. That's like the Superman I would love to see. A Superman that's confused, Superman that understands his power, but doesn't necessarily have to always be happy or doesn't necessarily always have to have a smile on his face. So I just hoping James Gunn doesn't bring that snarky and wittiness to a Superman movie and then to the whole of DC. Then again, we just have to wait and see. Gotta wait and see what he does with it. But I think the slate sounds cool. Like it's not just your basic trio Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Like he's bringing out DC content that no one really knows about, like Creature Commandos. Like who knows about that other than us? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's cool to see like new DC content be made. So I'm really excited about that. I just don't know if I trust his direction yet.
Is this where we argue? This is the episode where we argue, huh?
Yep.
Angel, what are your thoughts first before I get into it with him?
Dude, I think there's so much potential here. I think James Gunn's style that Armani was mentioning, like the snarky, edgy humor, would be great for the Booster Gold movie. But I do agree that like for Batman or like Superman, maybe it won't be like exactly what I'm looking for personally. Although I heard that the Green Lantern show is taking like a True Detective style almost,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
where it's like where it's kind of like more gritty. So I'm excited to see that one. I don't really know much about the Lanterns, but from what I've heard, it sounds like it's gonna be really cool.
I think it's gonna be a Hal Jordan, John Stewart, buddy cop,
Ooh. Yeah, see,
from what
that
I've heard.
sounds amazing.
That's why I wanted Jay too, because I feel like we would have got like a 20-minute rant. That would have been awesome.
I was just about to say, isn't Jay like a hardcore Lantern stan?
Yeah, he's more of a Kyle Stewart kind of guy, but I think he loves
Yeah.
the Green Lanterns in general. Kyle Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Rayner, Kyle Stewart. I don't know where I got that from. All right, let's fight Angel Armani. So I do agree. I do agree with both of you guys in regards to Superman and his writing style and directing style. Here's the thing. I don't think he's gonna do that. I think he's gonna try and stay more true to Superman. And if
Yeah.
you look at what he's basing it off of, it looks like he's basing it off of All Star Superman, which was way more of a throwback. It's a modern comic, I think like 2005, but it was more of a
Mhm.
throwback to a Christopher Reeve style Superman. So I
Mm.
think that's what we're getting. And if he sticks to that, I think we'll be fine. I do see the other characters surrounding Superman in regards to the other heroes being that snarky attitude to kind of counterbalance that, because the Authority is supposed to show up in this movie, and the
Yeah.
Authority, they're very pop punk, like British, always talking shit, always like saying having like just like stupid shit to say, but they're effective heroes. They're I mean, I wouldn't call them heroes. They're more of a team of anti-heroes, and they're
Yeah.
dicks. They're kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy in that regards. So I can see how he's going to those two types of tones are going to clash with each other. I can kind of see that happening. Um, I agree. Here's the thing though, the other movies aren't all being written by him. That's going to be other writers. So the Brave and the Bold is going to have a different writer. Woman of Tomorrow is going to have a different writer. Booster Gold is going to have a different writer. Because looking at, I'm using Wikipedia. I know that's not the greatest source, but screenwriters for the most part are TBA. I will say this for, oh yeah, we're getting Swamp Thing too. That's gonna be cool.
Hmm.
James Mangold, I think he's both the screenwriter and the director for that. Woman of Tomorrow is being written by a woman, Anna Noguera. I think I'm butchering that name. I apologize, but that's why I'm kind of excited that he's not going to be writing everything. He's not going to be directing everything. So the tone will always be the same. I think what's going to happen is they're going to have a visual style that's going to be very cohesive. I think they're going to have I think that's mainly it. I think visually, but I think it's going to be different tones, different ways of doing things. I don't think it's going to be like the MCU where it's kind of the same kind of comedy through everything, the same kind of visual style. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's going
I
to
do like
be different. I am excited for that. I get where you're coming from, Armani, having that kind of serious Superman, the one who's trying to figure out where he is. But I'm kind of over that.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill was fantastic. I loved his take on Superman, but I've found myself lately yearning for that Superman who is super powerful, but he uses that power. He knows who he is, what he is, but he like doesn't take himself too seriously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he'll fight an interdimensional god, but he'll save a cat out of a tree. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of yearning for that. I think as a society we kind of need that right now. Um, I think we need some old fashioned. You know, that's my take on it. What about you guys?
I feel you on that. I just think, I just hope, and I said this earlier, I'll preface it again. I just hope he doesn't bring his style and put that onto every property in DC, like every
Mm,
single film. Because if he's gonna be taking on a role like Kevin Feige calls the shots on how the tone of each movie is. Like he lets the writers on each film have their leeway and create their own story, but there's still like if they're trying to build a cohesive universe, there's still going to be elements, and they have to set the tone for that entire universe. Hopefully, James Gunn doesn't bring his usual tone and set that for the entire universe. And if he is a great director and he is a great storyteller, so I'm hoping he doesn't do that. I'm hoping he allows other people to realize to show their creativity flourish
mm.
in their films without hovering over them how Kevin Feige does. But we'll just have to see. What do you guys want Superman to have trunks or no?
I don't. I don't. The suit I really want to see adapted is his rebirth suit. Um,
Yeah, that was a sexy suit.
yeah, that's the suit I want to see adapted. But if you look at like the symbol that we're getting, it looks to be more of a. It's almost like an early version of the Kingdom Come suit. Have you guys seen that one?
Yes, his it looked like the colors looked like what's his name? Brandon Rough's
Yeah,
Ralph.
yeah.
It looked like
Um,
that. Yes.
I think we're gonna get Trunks in the beginning. I think he's gonna lose him. I don't think he's gonna have him for like his duration in within this new DCU. I do think we're gonna get them
Yeah.
in at least the first movie.
You know what I can see James Gunn doing? I can see him having like a shot or something or a scene where Superman's making his costume and he puts the trunks on and like Clark is like, nah, I'm gonna scratch these. I can see like a scene like that, like a little funny scene where he's
Mm,
like, yeah, this is my outfit, but then he realizes he looks corny and then he takes the trunks off. I can see like that being thrown into there. And I wouldn't mind that, you know what I mean?
mm,
Like I don't mind comedy. For some reason, I was actually having a conversation about this with my girlfriend last night because she was like, she found out like I've never seen Step Brothers from beginning to end. I don't mind comedy. I just didn't grow up with those movies like on my peripheral every day, like on my forefront. I grew up watching freaking like Gladiator is my favorite movie, and I watched that movie when I was like 7. I grew up watching like Kingdom of Heaven, Gladiator, like, and then really like strong political thrillers. So comedy for me was never like my strong suit or something I never was attracted to. I think that's why I have like this issue with James Gunn because I like movies that are darker and grittier, and I think that's why I love Zack Snyder's version of DC more because that's just like the content I grew up watching. So basically, I just need to watch more like comedies or something. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I get that. I grew up heavy on like comedy stuff, but like good comedy, not like trash comedy. So like Step Brothers, my shit. You know.
I've never seen that movie from beginning to end. I've seen like bits and pieces.
It's worth it. I'll say that it is worth it.
Hilarious.
Um, okay, where do you guys think this is going? Because you know how the MCU, the first like I want to say what is it, 2 3 phases, it built up to Thanos. Do you think we're
Yeah.
building up to Darkseid, or do you think we're building up to a different threat?
Um. Well, do you think they're gonna build up to like a Justice League first?
Mm-hmm.
I think a good question would be like, who's gonna be on the Justice League first?
Yeah, I
Who
don't
would you
see
want to see?
I don't see him doing the traditional lineup like the last universe. I think
Like,
he's gonna have some
like,
wild cards in there.
and I would like to see that. I would like to see like different characters in there. Um, like like maybe characters from like the animated show like Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
I would like to see Hot Girl, and I would like to see Hot Girl there. I think I would like to see the lineup from the animated show. I would
I could
like to
see him
see
doing
that
that.
line. Yeah, I would like that lineup, and then for the big bad, I think Dark Side obviously is the fucking Dark Side. Like that's the biggest bad in DC. I think like Brainiac would be cool. I think a Brainiac
Ooh.
attack would be awesome because that'll take away from like the Thanos aspect. Because Thanos is like the big alien. Darkseid's the big alien.
Mhm.
So like Brainiac, you can get more into like technology, and that can be like an allegory to how we're living today with like AI and tech taking over. So I can that'll be something cool to play with if they do Brainiac as the big bad.
Have you guys seen Young Justice?
Yeah,
Sure.
What if they go for like a collective like that, like a collective of enemies where it's like a big group
Ooh,
of like different like a big lineup of like enemies working together instead of just like one big
Like a
bad.
Legion of Doom, like a Legion
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Doom type
yeah.
of scenario.
Yeah,
That'd be
something like
sick.
that.
I would
I do
like
also
that
want to
too.
see I want to see Captain Atom
yeah,
like
that'd be cool.
from Justice League. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Atom would be really sick. I wonder if remember in Young Justice when they teased like Darkseid every season and they never showed him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like he was like in every like season, but they never did anything with him. I also, but like I love Darkseid, but also he's kind of a little bit overplayed at this point. Like Zack Snyder could have done something dope with him, like that design that they had and like the voice.
Mhm.
Just everything about Zack Snyder's Darkseid was amazing, but there's no reason for James to continue that because it's not going to be the same. Zack and Warner Brothers already attempted it. So James Gunn should definitely go a different route. I think he will. It's based off like everything he's already doing, like all these different characters he's bringing out first. He's
Mhm.
already scratching the traditional. Let's start off with the strong characters that everyone knows. You know, he's
Yeah.
like fucking Creature Commandos and the Authority. You know, like no one knows about that. But I think he's gonna definitely build up to a big bad that we're not gonna even expect. And who else is a big bad? Like I can't think of anyone right now. I'm fried.
um, I could see him doing 2 things. Blackest
All right.
Night. Do you guys know what the Blackest Night event? Do you guys know about that?
Yeah,
Oh,
Black
I've
Knight is
heard of it.
crazy.
It's basically like there. Okay, so you know how there's the different lantern cores.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The core of death, which was the Black Lanterns. I forgot what the character was. Let me see. The character that it was like this like demon or some crap. This like cosmic entity brought the basically the living embodiment of death. He brought back a lot of dead superheroes with the Black Lantern ring. They're basically lantern zombies, and
Okay.
the team had to fight. Like everyone in DC had to fight that. It was a really big event. I remember when I was a kid reading comics. You know, I always have like Blackest Night promos, in the ads. That'd be pretty cool, I think, to see like zombie characters fighting. But then I can also see James Gunn doing Deceased, the zombie event that a couple years ago that they did. Did you guys ever read that?
I haven't read that.
Yeah, it's basically hold on, let me see.
He's pulling out the archives,
The
Yeah,
sacred texts.
and he got them in the back.
There you go.
You can do it. You can do it.
I had it too. My dad had
The
it.
entire shelf just falls, so we have to cut the feed.
I had it right here.
No, make a sound, please.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, so basically, the anti-life equation. You guys know about that?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Darkseid tries taking that. It doesn't work. He somehow the Black Racer gets involved with that, and they create a zombie virus with the anti-life equation, and then it gets sent to Earth, and then it spreads through technology. So like we could be talking doing the podcast, and the anti-life is digital. It shows up on the screen. We all become zombies.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, basically everyone gets turned into zombies. Batman gets killed straight up. He gets killed, and then Superman gets infected at the end, and Superboy has to fight him to let the
wow.
survivors like leave on these giant ships, these arcs, and they go to Earth 2. Well, they call it Earth 2. It's not the actual Earth 2.
Yeah.
But it's a planet that the Green Lanterns figured would be pretty good for humans to restart over on. So they lose to zombies.
Yeah.
You know who will be like two cool villains they can do as well?
Hmm.
Since they already have a Teen Titans project in development, Trigon. That'd be sick.
That would be cool.
Oh, that would
Or
be cool.
Vando Savage. Vando Savage is so cool.
That's what I was thinking too.
Vando Savage is such a cool character. And like it kind of goes into what you were saying, Angel, about Legion of Doom, because
Yeah.
at least in the animated show, Vando's the one that puts together the Legion.
Uh-huh.
That'd be something really cool. Like if if James does something where like in each movie they're laying the groundwork for the big bad, how Marvel does, but it's like the groundwork of leading up to Vandal Savage, that can be really cool shit because they can make DC films like that take place a couple hundred years in the past to lead up to this. Like that, they can do so much if it's Vandal Savage. I feel like with Trigon it'll be cool, but it's pretty limited with Trigon because what he's in like Raven's head the entire time, so
Yeah.
that could be kind of limited. But I think Vandal or Brainiac, or those are like my top choices for the big bad if they're leading up to
Yeah.
that.
Vandal would be cool. You're right, because like, I mean, he's been alive for like what, like thousands of years. So
Mhm.
yeah, even if they do, like, I don't know, some like Wonder Woman thing in the past, like he could still be there.
Yeah.
Even if he's not like the main villain in like those movies, he could still like make an appearance.
And then you said they're doing a Green Lanterns project, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sinestro wouldn't necessarily be like a big bad for the entire Justice League. I feel like they would just they would stomp his shit. Let's be real.
It depends because they did have the Sinestro Corps war when he first made the Sinestro Corps, and I think it took the Justice League and the Green Lanterns to take him down. So that could be a really cool like like second chapter bad guy for them all to come together to fight. But then
Or
that's also
Parallax.
setting up. Yeah, there you go. Parallax. That'd be pretty cool too. That could set up like Parallax.
Yeah, Parallax would be awesome. But it's interesting because they're doing what? They're doing a Green Lantern project, a Teen Titans project, and obviously Superman's the beginning of it all. So from Superman we can get a Brainiac. From Green Lantern we can get Parallax or like Sinestro Corps, and then from Teen Titans we can get Trigon. And then obviously with Darkseid that can be through any film or any character. So I'm wondering, and they're not gonna do like do you think James will do Doomsday again?
That'll probably be like chapter 3. Kill
You
off
think so?
Superman. Yeah. Okay.
Do
So
you,
here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Green Lantern story. They're saying that that's supposed to be okay. Okay. Saffron said the mystery that Jordan Stewart investigate in the series leads into the main storyline for the DCU. I think that's gonna set up the big bad guy.
can you repeat that?
Saffron said the mystery that Jordan and Stewart investigate in the series leads into the main storyline for the DCU.
Oh,
I think that's the setup for everything. the overarching bad guy.
Who would they
Oh,
be investigating?
they haven't
Uh,
said, right?
no, they
But,
haven't, but they're
well, who
supposed
do
to
you
be. I
think
think
they'd
that
be?
could be Parallax.
That sounds like, I mean, they're Green Lantern Corps, so
Mhm.
Mm.
who else would they really be? Do you think? Do you think John Constantine can fit well in here?
Yes,
I hope so.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like
Mhm.
his lore and the shit that he does.
introduce magic into the universe.
Yes. Like I would love to see like Zatanna and then her father and then like Doctor Fate. Oh,
Ooh.
speaking of Doctor
Dr.
Fate,
Fate.
is Black Adam's not part of the new DC,
No,
right?
no.
Done. What was because how do they frame it where Ezra's Flash reset everything?
Yeah, it was basically Flashpoint without them calling it Flashpoint.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, I didn't mind actually no, I'll take that back. I don't care. Black Adam sucked. Let's be dead ass. Like that movie
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um
say I'm glad it's not a
but
part.
I would like to see them bring back Doctor Fate because he's a dope ass character.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wasted Doctor Fate in that movie.
Then what else? I mean, they're not gonna do anything with like Creature Command. Like, there's not a there's not like a villain in Creature Commandos that can be. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
That could be set up
is
for
there?
that.
Yeah, is there anything in Creature Commandos that can set up for like a big bad?
I don't remember. I think it's supposed to be set during World War II, though.
Yeah.
Well, that there you go. Vandal.
Yeah, that could
Vandal can
also be
be
a Vandal
Oh,
thing.
you're right.
Vandal can be laying his groundwork in during World War II.
Mhm.
I would love to see. I would love to see Superman fight like the Kryptonians, like in
Mm,
Young Justice, when like Zod came out of the Phantom Zone with
yeah,
his crew. Like that would be crazy. And like in the Superman and Lois show, did you guys ever watch that?
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
like
haven't
the
seen it.
Kryptonians in that show, like CW was cooking in like the first season and season 1 and 2 of that show. They had moments in that show where they were cooking, and that's crazy to say for CW. Even though they had like Green Arrow was sick, but
Oh
the
yeah,
Superman and
Eric was
Lois
telling
show,
us.
they were cooking. They were cooking in that show. They had really dope moments.
I could see the Creature Commandos being used just to set up the world, like set the tone.
Mhm.
Do some serious world building.
Yeah, because it's World War II, right?
I think so.
And
I
then
do like that they're gonna be combining like live action and animation and
Mhm.
still making it like one universe. I think that's really cool.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the Creature Commandos is an animated TV show. Everyone who's playing their characters is gonna come back for live action.
Oh wow. Okay, that's cool. That's really
Mhm.
cool. And do you, and then here, but we're also forgetting like a huge big bad,
Mm.
fucking Lex.
Oh yeah, he's gonna show
Oh,
up in Superman.
Yeah, Lex isn't Superman, and he is responsible for so many things that happen to like the Justice Leagues and just the Earth in general, and even the universe.
mm,
So I can definitely see him being a part of like I can see him being like the Loki, where he sets up like he interacts with like the big bad. He's probably working with the big bad at some point, but then maybe has a change of heart. 'Cause Lex is like a cool villain because he he like hates humanity, but he doesn't, right?
Mm.
He like
yeah.
loves humanity. So if anything's gonna fuck up Earth, he'll turn against like the bad guy immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Lex. I like Lex as a villain. I always thought he was black growing up because he
yeah,
was
me too. Because of
they made him
Justice League, right?
yeah, there was like so black coded, but it was a white man. I was like, what is this? What are you doing here? But yeah, Lex is a dope character. And do you think Nicholas Holt's gonna do like a cool job?
Yes, I actually think he'll do a very good job. He'll destroy Eisenberg's rendition. I cannot stand Eisenberg.
Yeah, Jesse's version of Lex was a weird ass choice.
I hated that so
But I
much.
wish, but then again, I wish we could have got more because the version of Lex we saw in those movies was like a young version.
Yeah.
I wish we could have. I wish we were able to see like more, like him bald and being just a genius and scary. But
Nah,
I
man,
think,
I'm gonna keep it real. Brian Cranston apparently like was supposed to actually be the Lex, but then Zack Snyder vetoed that, and
that would have been sick.
What?
I was like, come on, that's perfect.
That
That
would
would
have
have
been
been
so cool.
perfect. That would have been really cool.
He
Mhm.
did he
Also,
did look good bald. I'll say that. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex. Sorry, Armani. I know I cut you off again. He did
no
look good
problem.
bald. He looked good with the suit
Yeah,
at the end. He did look good, but he's still. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree with you 100%. He did look sick. And I wish we would have saw like more. But David what's his last name? Cornwall, the new
Oh,
Superman.
I know who. Yeah, I know. Let me see.
Cornswell,
Superman.
Cornsworth.
Momose Momosamu Makusa.
Yeah, what is
Uh,
it? It's like I know it starts with a C.
I have no clue.
David Corn Sweat. Corn Sweat.
Cornsweat.
Uh,
Cornsweat. Um, does his Superman movie is it taking place like in the middle of him already being Superman, or is it like starting from the beginning, like he's not Superman yet? You know what I mean? Like
I
a
think it's
Smallville.
like year 2 or 3. I think.
Okay, good, because I don't think we need to see another
No,
like origin.
I agree with you there. I agree with you
Yeah.
on that. I'm kind of over Origins. Like we all know. I mean, if it's like a D list, character, fine. But it's like one of the big
Like Blue
three.
Beetle, like
Yeah,
Blue Beetle.
yeah, that was perfect. But like if it's
Yeah,
like Batman, like I like with the Batman, they didn't do his origin. It was year 2. That was perfect. That was fine.
yeah, that
You
was
know.
great.
Great movie.
I'm excited for that. I need to
Mhm.
watch the Penguin show. Isn't that out already?
It's gonna be coming out soon, very soon. That's gonna be
Really?
good. That's gonna be very good.
Penguin show is gonna be phenomenal. I think the Batman 2 is gonna blow us away. I think it's gonna be like Dune levels of like fantastic, like Dune Part 2 level.
Oh, did you hear that? They're going ahead with Messiah.
Yeah, I saw that today. I
Hmm.
mean, that would be ridiculous if they didn't. Like, if for
Hmm.
some reason they were like, "Oh yeah, we're not gonna finish a trilogy." I think that would legit cause riots.
Yeah,
I
that
think
movie did
people,
too well to
I
not
think people
continue.
would. I would riot because they can't do that to us. I've been checking Amazon every day to see when they're gonna drop when it's gonna go on streaming or when they can buy the movie. I'm like itching for it. I feel like a drug addict. I'm like legit itching to rewatch that movie. I'm going again Saturday for my fourth watch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude,
That
no,
one dude reached 22. That one guy on Twitter, he reached like 22.
yeah, and they
Oh, I
reached
saw
out
that
to
guy.
him.
Mm-hmm.
They reached out to him, Legendary, Dune, and everyone. They send him
Mm-hmm.
like memorabilia. I wonder if they're gonna invite him to the premiere of Messiah. They should because
Yeah,
he watched that movie in IMAX 22 times. That's at
Yeah.
least $400 he spent.
It would also just be good promo for them.
yeah,
Not that they
Yeah, of
need it.
course.
yeah.
I just wonder if Denis can top what he did in part two. I wonder if he's gonna be able to. I think
That,
it's still gonna be amazing, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to top that.
that's the funny thing, right? Because Dune Messiah, they mention the jihad, but they don't.
Yeah, they don't do it.
Yeah, they don't
They
show
don't,
it. So it's like,
yeah,
I wonder if they're gonna retool it to show maybe flashbacks of the jihad, because it's more like they talk about it in passing. Oh yeah, I
yeah,
killed 16 billion people,
yeah.
and you're just like, what? you
You
know?
know what I hope they do? I hope they pick up. I hope they pick up right as Lady Jessica's like holy war,
Mhm.
and I hope Doom Messiah is just a fucking crazy war movie across the universe with like battles on planets and ships and all that good stuff. And then I hope it ends with like a 20-year time jump to like an actor they either hire to play an older Paul or just Timothy with like facial prosthetics before he goes out to the
Desert.
you you know what happens at the end, Noah. Angel, do you know what happens at the end of Dune? Do you care?
I have no clue about anything. I haven't read any of the books. I haven't seen the movies yet.
Do you care? Do you care if we say what happens?
No, you could say it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So no, I wonder. I hope they do that where they don't talk about the jihad as past tense, where they're just like mentioning it. I hope they actually show it, and then the end is like a 20-year time jump of him being like exiled to the desert to die. And you know what? The shots in part one and part two,
Hmm.
they mostly showed in part one where it's like that blurry figure
Yeah,
of someone walking to the desert. I think that's that. I think that's the end of. I think that's the end of Paul's story that they're already showing us him walking into the desert, just fading away. I think that's what they're showing us already.
yeah. For some foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Now, here's
but
my hope. I hope it
what do you-
ends with the God Emperor in his
I
worm
don't.
suit.
I do not want to see that. I do not want to see that in IMAX. I think that would just turn. The reason why I don't want to see that is because Denis has already done such a good job at bringing Dune down to like our to the level where people who don't understand hard sci-fi can appreciate it.
Mhm.
And I think if he just out of nowhere throws in a fucking worm, a worm boy, I think that's gonna people are gonna be like, "What is this?" You know? I think he's already done such a good job at making hard sci-fi accessible to the masses.
Yeah,
Like
no, I
all
agree
his
with you. I think
Yeah,
his son, I think Leto is more translatable into animation.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I think what they'll probably do, honestly, is I think they're gonna I think they're gonna do two things: either show the entire jihad and then do a 20-year time jump for Paul dying, and then maybe like another time jump of not even a time jump, just maybe show like baby Leto or him as a child, and like implying that he's about to take over
Mm-hmm.
Paul's mission, etc. Or what they'll do is they'll, for some reason, and I think this will be a mistake, talk about the jihad and past tense and like flashbacks while focusing on like Leto growing up, and I think that'd be ridiculous. Then they need to end. I think they need to show the jihad. 'Cause that's what they're leading up to. Like part one was laying the groundwork for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Part two was a taste of what Denis can do in regards to like a war film, and the part three needs to be the fucking war. And I want to see 60 billion people die. But yeah,
Yeah,
I said
it's
it.
it's funny though to me how people's media literacy is just so low because everyone is assuming Paul is like this like good guy main
White.
character, but
Mhm.
Yeah,
he's space Hitler. Like I understand that he sees that this is the only way for humanity to thrive,
yeah.
but
He's a monster.
you still massacred, like he massacred entire planets that didn't comply.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah, and his son did worse. Did even though I
Yep.
think it was called what, the Golden Path or something. I think what his son was trying to lead humanity towards.
Like like
Oh
It's the
man,
Paul
Allfather.
Paul is
yeah.
like the epitome. Paul is like the epitome of like born into privilege
Hmm.
and trying and doing everything you can to hold on to that power. And and people trying to say that this is like a white savior movie is exactly what you said. Like media literacy is so low because it's telling you like right in your face this is not what that is. Like any other film, that's usually what the trope is. Like here comes the
Hmm.
white savior to save the brown people from themselves and lead them to victory. But no, Paul literally tells you in movie one,
Yeah.
I'm going to trick them into believing me so I can get revenge
Hmm.
on the emperor who killed my father, and I'm gonna trick them. And he does exactly that in book two or movie two.
Hmm.
And I'm not even saying he says this like um he like shies around that. No, like he
Yeah.
literally says verbatim,
Hmm.
I am going to use their religion to my favor. I'm going to
Hmm.
trick them and take advantage of them. And people still think he's a white savior. It blows my mind. Really
It
blows my mind.
it's Armani. Like with that in mind, do you, in regards to like the things that we write, the things that we put together for Forbidden Origins,
Yeah.
um, how do would you want people to take like the old universe, for example? Like what's the theme you're trying to present, and like what do you think the takeaway should be? I know that people can have different takeaways from things that they read and watch and all that,
Yeah.
but like what's like the ideal takeaway from the old universe for you?
For me, I think it's like I think it's three things. The In regards to like the overall aspect of it is very anti-imperialism.
Mm,
You know, you don't have to oblige to a tyrannical force. That's like the basic outlook of it. And when you look deeper into the characters, I would say it's overcoming trauma because
mm,
you have Corin who grew up as a man and never was able to talk about his feelings or get over the trauma that he experienced as a child. And he brought that into adulthood. And I think a lot of us as men in like society fear that we can't talk about what we're going through and our struggles, and we're not allowed to express that because we'll come off as weak.
mm,
And then we see that with Corin, where he watched his father commit an atrocity, his mother died during childbirth, and he's expected to move on as if nothing happened. Like the woman that he grew up with, Moria, expects him to just push past that and be a warrior. His father expects him to do that. No one expects him to have a moment of weakness and be like, "Hey, like I'm fucking hurting and I can't do this. Like, I want to be my own person." And then I think the next thing also is just I wrote this. It's like the relationship between a son and their father. A lot of us can relate that some people, some men and fathers have a strained relationship because fathers put a lot of pressure on their sons,
yeah.
and that's one of the themes too. So I think it's really just anti-imperialism, father and son relationships, and overcoming trauma, especially as a male. Wow, this became like really like Sigma mindset. I need to kill myself. But no, Yeah, I think that's how I see. I know Eric and I have gotten like deeper into it before when we, especially when we write together and when we're on the phone coming up with new ideas for book two and like three and four and five. We always like try to hone down on the themes. Like book one was introducing you to the lore, and book two is really about like the main theme of book two, and you'll see it in every chapter is overcoming past trauma. And we put it right in your face. Like if only you have the ability to overcome your trauma. Yeah, people there can help you and support you, but if you're not willing to let go of the past and try to better yourself and try to understand that yes, you are a victim. Yes, you went through things, but you shouldn't let that hold you down. Then you're not going to be able to progress. And I like to write things about that because I had things that happened to me as a child
Mm-hmm.
that ruined my relationships and my life growing up. And I like to put that into Corin's aspect. And yeah, I fucking wrote the Order Universe when I was going through a 7 year breakup. Like I wrote like there's a part in the prologue where I write when Helena dies. When Helena dies, the Allfather, I say like for the first time in his life, he experienced pain, anguish, and emotions he's never felt. It was like along those lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote that in there because in the first time in my life, I was going through like my first breakup of 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then adding into what I said earlier, like as a man in this society, you're expected to not show your feelings and emotions. So it was hard to navigate that breakup and hard to navigate all these feelings that we are supposed to suppress and all that coming in at once. So yeah, I wrote that into there for the prologue for the All Father. And yeah, it's just the theme. I would like people to take away that you don't have to run from your problems. You don't have to hide from your problems, but eventually you will have to face them if you want to move forward. Um, fuck imperialism. If you live on a planet or a country that's getting ravaged, you have the right to fight back. And one thing that I like to stress in the old universes too is there's a lot of books out there that make, or just books and shows that make revolutionaries seem gray. Where, for example, Jet in Avatar: The Last
Mm-hmm.
Airbender. That man's family was murdered by the Fire Nation. That man's family was murdered. His town was murdered. His village was murdered. And the writers, God bless them, they wrote a fantastic story. Like, yeah, that was awesome. But they still made revolutionaries seem morally ambiguous. Like, okay, like, yeah, what he's doing is right, but not really. Like, they kind of made Jet the villain in those few episodes he was in. And what I want to do is I really want to stray away from that in the old universe where characters who are fighting for their freedom, like they are correct no matter what they do. Like you fighting oppression, you fighting against tyranny, you are currently the victim and you are currently have your back against the wall. So no matter what you do to get out of that, you're not going to be seen as a bad guy. So consider that what you think. Consider with that what take away with that what you want.
Yeah, I'm sure we can
No,
read
Noah's
between the lines.
Noah's rubbing his mustache. Noah's
It's
rubbing his
funny. It's funny,
mustache.
Armani, because you and I are both like we're both leftists, but we also have different interpretations of that.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
remember. I agree.
um, I do agree with you on. I mean, I think you and I are mostly agree politically, right? But like we do have different. We do veer. You know what I'm saying? Um,
I agree. Eric just texted me that Mossad just blacklisted us. They're listening to the podcast and we just got blacklisted by Mossad. Honestly, probably.
um, I think it's funny. I think we basically just, at least for you and me, we kind of like lifted the veil for people who were trying to figure out what we where we align ourselves. So like yeah, there. I mean, for the most part, I don't know about you, Angel, but I think there's a very not heavy-handed so much, but there is leftist themes within our writings.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, but I think the worst thing, the worst takeaway we can get from like all our stuff is that like people like the bad guys, like the Black Palace
Hmm.
aesthetically is very cool looking, but like it might fall into the Empire problem from Star Wars where people just love the Empire because of how they look, and
Hmm.
then
It's like
like
it's
they
like
start
the
to agree.
Nazis.
Yeah,
It's
but
like the
people,
Nazis.
yeah, Yeah, but like they're fascists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So like we're that's gonna happen. You know,
Oh, for
have you ever
sure.
considered that like once we blow up, that people are gonna be, oh, the Black Palace did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I would love that. I would love to see people online saying like, yeah, the Black Palace is nothing wrong, and we put that in there.
Mm.
We don't make every single person in the old universe agree with Korn and the
Yeah,
allegiance,
yeah,
because
Mhm.
you have to consider that while the Allfather was ruling and while the Black Palace was in control, everything was seemingly fine. Trade was en route. There was no disruption of medicine. There was no disruption of resources. Corrin's war against his father, although it is right, although it is um, genuine, and although it is righteous, disrupted like every single person's life.
Mhm.
Trade got disrupted, medicine got disrupted, food got disrupted. So you have people questioning like, was this is this something we should be doing? Like my family doesn't have food on the table now. My
yeah.
family, I just lost my son. My wife doesn't have medicine. Like I don't have resources coming from this planet anymore. So we have people in there, and we have people that are even on Corin's side tell them like, we don't like it are is what we're doing the right way to do this. And that's a question I want the reader to ask. Like if you're gonna cause a revolution, if you're gonna fight for your freedom, you have to ask yourself, is this the right way? Is there a better way? Or is going forward, like, are people going to die?
Mm-hmm.
Are people going to lose their life in order for us to reach that? And
Mm-hmm.
I made a tweet about that like a while ago when I was really deep into like leftist Twitter. I made like a tweet, and I don't want to sound like I don't have any empathy here, but should we do a risk assessment on revolution? Like, how many people do we have to like do a risk assessment on allowing our government to continue what they're doing, or if a revolution and people dying is worth it? So if we allow world governments to continue what they're doing, people are going to die. If you cause a revolution, people are going to die. So what's the risk assessment? Allowing tyranny to continue, or causing a revolution that will allow your freedom? Lives, either way, lives are going to be lost. So what's
Mm-hmm.
the risk assessment there? And that's like a question we pose in the story, and that's a question that literally people on Corin's side throw at him daily.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all messed up. There was a post on Facebook like recently. I see it all the time now. It was like, what is the number one thing your character does? And every time I see it, I comment it and I go, my character is a bitch. He cries every chapter. It's true. Like Corin's crying every chapter because he's so fucked up. But yeah, no, I think seeing people say, yeah, the Black Palace was right, like they did nothing wrong. I would love to see that. I think where Forbidden Origins will get involved online is if we see fascists start using like the Black Palace symbol on like T-shirts and shit, which would be ridiculous. But people are wild. But I wouldn't just release a public statement for Forbidden Origins. Like I would get online on my personal Twitter
Yeah.
account and call people out. Like, you want to use this symbol? Like, come find me. Like, here's my address. I
Uh-huh.
remember I got into an argument once on a Twitter space. It's like this like right winger borderline fascist was talking some shit, and he lived in Florida, and I was hosting the space, and I had like 12,000 people in there. Not 12,000. I had 1,000 people in there, and I gave him my home address, and I was like, here. And
Jesus
that was like 2 years
Christ.
ago, so nothing ever happened. But you know what I'm saying? Like Forbidden Origins is going to be a company that we're going to back down from the hard issues and hard topics. Like if you're using our brand to push some ridiculous agenda, you're going to get called out. And even
Yep.
if you're not using our brand to push some ridiculous agenda, but we see it, like I hope anyone on our team, you guys included, all the other writers, Eric, myself, on our personal accounts, like we're calling that shit out. Like no one's on this team is going to get branded or be told, hey, you can't talk about that because it's sensitive. No, like it's 2024. Like we have to talk and we have to use our voice. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The, the fuck?
I just imagine you in that Twitter space like Tony Stark when he calls out the
Oh
Mandarin.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I when thank God it wasn't recorded. 'Cause I don't record Twitter Spaces because I'll be like
Mhm.
in the circles I run with on that side of Twitter, they'll call me a fed if I ever try to record a space. So luckily it wasn't recorded, but yeah, I gave him my address. I gave him the full address, zip code, and everything, and I was like,
Oh
come
my
on,
God.
he never came through. But it's just all it's just internet shit. 99% of the people who claim they're like some sort of fascist, even a communist, Like I consider myself a communist, but most people on my side are just internet. They're internet communists or armchair communists. Same
Yeah.
with fascists or anyone you want to consider on the right. They're all armchair. Like people are freaking out about that Civil War movie. Like
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
way too comfortable. Gas
Mm-hmm.
prices are nice. People have food in their homes. No one's causing a civil war because some movie came out. No
Yeah.
one's gonna risk having a shootout at Walmart. No, when especially gas prices are good and people have food and like America's too comfortable. Our government is
It's
more
funny
of a
that you bring that up because I fully agree with you. Because people on both sides are saying, "Oh, if this starts," I'm like, what's gonna start? What do you mean?
yeah,
You're too comfortable on watching TV shows on your streaming services. You're too comfortable playing video
exactly,
games.
Yeah.
None
exactly.
of you. And then the ones who really want it on the right, they're they're fat. They got their AR-15s. None of them know how to fight. None of them have run drills. Those that were
Yeah,
in the military, they're old. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
These people don't do combined arms training, and it's stupid. If it happens, it's gonna be we're gonna be dead by the time that happens. I feel like. So that movie though, I heard the movie's not that bad.
A civil war in the United States would be hilarious because the violence our military puts out outward will be turned inward so quickly, like no
Yeah.
one will be able to get a shot off. But anyways, uh, anyways,
Yeah.
uh,
People have like
So
this fantasy of just like overtaking the entire government. It's like, have you not seen our military?
have you guys seen the movie yet? Civil War?
no, it comes
No.
out this weekend. I think this weekend, that or next week. But I do want to
I
watch
haven't-
it. I heard it's not actually really about the war. It's about the journalists, which I think is actually a
Yeah,
pretty cool rendition of it.
yeah.
Um,
It's like the war through a journalist's eyes.
yeah.
Yeah,
My only issue is the map because like we're all writers here. We all like to build worlds. Have you guys looked at the map?
yeah. Texas and California, the Western Alliance.
Well, here's the thing. I can actually see that happening. People are like in the internet. It's like, no, that would never. No, it would happen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Both states, they even though they can't stand each other, if there's enough of a threat from the government, they would probably we would work together, Texas and
Yeah.
California. Mainly because both states are the largest contributor to the military. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
And
So
their economies are huge.
Yeah.
yeah, my issue is the fact that Armani, your state, has an alliance named after it.
Yeah, the Florida Alliance.
That's so weird. And then you have the New People's Army, which is like basically the rest of the country except for like a couple Midwestern states.
Yeah.
And it's just I look at this and I feel like it's just a weird dynamic. I will
It
say this
wasn't thought
though.
out. It wasn't fleshed out too much.
Well, it's written
It
by a
was like
British guy. It's written by a British
yeah,
Oh,
dude.
that explains a lot.
I will say this though. Look at some of the marketing, right? Look at the Florida Alliance. Look at their soldiers. They're basically just militia. And then if you look at the Western forces, they're way more organized in terms of their uniforms. They have actual unit patches. The Florida
yeah,
Alliance, they're basically all they're wearing like the Hawaii shirts. I do like the difference, the visual difference between the two insurgencies that are happening. It's pretty
yeah.
cool. I think it's very evocative of actual real life, like how it would probably go down in terms of their uniforms. Because I
I
don't think
agree.
the Florida people would be the members of the alliance, the Florida Alliance would be very uniform. But I could see the
Yeah,
California and Texas militaries being very like uniform in regards, like they still continue with the U.S. military tradition. You know what I'm saying? So I do
I
like
have a
that.
tweet. I have a tweet online somewhere. Probably look it up. I think I say along the lines like when Florida secedes from the nation, like a civil war happens, I'm gonna be a communist arm dealer smuggling arms to like the Gulf of Mexico, like my speedboat. Have you seen that video of like that old guy? He's on a speedboat, and there's like a guy in a black suit behind him and like a hover suit chasing him. Have you
Yeah,
guys seen that?
yeah, I've seen that. I've
Yeah,
seen
I
that's the
haven't.
video I posted. I was like me being chased by like by DeSantis's militia at the smuggling arms to like New York or something. It was some stupid ass tweet.
Do you guys
But
remember that that Kingpin meme? Business is booming. That's gonna be Armani.
yeah,
Business is booming.
me and Eric will have a fortress called the Forbidden Fortress. But we're selling the old universe, but inside it's like anti-Florida Alliance propaganda. Like, we get like shot. No, be like face the wall, and then we get put down.
Jesus.
I want to watch it though. I think I do think
I just Eric is asleep, and I just woke him up saying that. You look
he's like, what the fuck?
up.
Um, I do think in regards to pop culture, we should kind of venture into that, like a potential second Civil War type thing, because I think that there's a real that has a very it's good for stories. I feel like,
Yeah.
it's there's a lot of potential there. I want to see more video games, more comics, more everything about that. I know people are like that's kind of taboo. Even this movie, before it even came out, people were reacting to it pretty crazy because it is kind of
Mhm.
taboo. Because like we don't think it's gonna happen, but you never know. I had an idea. I actually wrote. Okay, when I was 13, I was really into alternate history. I still am. I thought it was really smart creating a second Civil War scenario where it's like it's literally the Western Alliance, but it's like all of the Western states, and
Yeah.
then you have the Eastern states. Because I was like, oh, the first Civil War was North versus South. How about West versus East? So I
Yeah.
split it down like that, and it was the Western Alliance versus the Imperial States of America. The United States got I based it off of the Republic from Star Wars. Oh, we'll be reorganized into the Imperial States of America. And like the Imperials had like black uniforms. They were using like, the XM8 assault rifle. The Western
Yeah.
Alliance was basically still like using like the old U.S. Army gear and all that stuff. And yeah, I think I had like Canada and Mexico helping out the West, and then Europe came in from like the East. They invaded New York. It was like a whole thing. Kind of dumb in
Maybe
hindsight, but it
you
was
can
cool.
incorporate that. Maybe you can incorporate that into Manifest, where uh Alex is talking to like a god or something, one of the gods he fights, and maybe Alex has like a girlfriend, and the god's telling him like you have to sacrifice this relationship because like if you go down this relationship, it's gonna lead to like something catastrophic, and like the United States is in a civil war, and Alex has to like sacrifice something he holds dear in order to save that from happening. I don't know, something cool.
It's funny that you bring that up because I have a storyline where he gets transported to another universe where the South wins the war, right? The first Civil
Jeez.
War, and then it gets to a point where that timeline is now to the point where people are getting powers, right? So what
Yeah.
happens is that this universe, Alex gets his powers, but then he gets killed by the government, and in this world, the minorities are living in ghettos, right? So the government comes in, they find out this kid has powers. Alex's doppelganger has powers. They kill him, and they take his DNA and they put it into a white guy.
Oh wow.
Basically, think Homelander with electricity.
Yeah.
Um, and so Alex helps the resistance fight back against that guy, and then he gets transported back. So
That's sick. I like that a lot. That's really cool.
Mhm.
yeah, I had a thing where Alex can fly by this point, right? So he's hovering over the capital, and so this guy he comes up. I don't know what I'm gonna call him. I was thinking I gave him a temporary name, Johnny Reb. He's like rocking like the Confederacy flag, kind of like Captain America, but like a
Yeah.
Homelander style. And he flies up to him, right? And Alex notices that his boots are kind of thick, and then he realizes, oh, those are anti-gravity boots. You don't know how to fly yet, do you? So
Yeah.
so they get
That's
into a
funny.
fight, and he takes off he like rips them off, and then he lets him like fall down, and he survives because he's got powers. But he's like, oh,
Yeah.
this guy, he never had to really train, because the way I had it is that Alex trains, and it's kind of like a video game where he unlocks more aspects to his powers. So
Hmm.
this guy, yeah, he was like a marine, but he never trained his powers because he never really had to, because the government was already killing people with powers. He was more
Yeah.
of like a propaganda tool, you know.
Mhm.
Of course.
So yeah, that's I don't know. We got to this point in the conversation, but yeah. So Civil War, we should go watch that.
No to Civil War.
No to a real Civil War, but the movie, let's check that
The
out.
movie, yeah,
But sick. This conversation has been fun.
yeah. We've
Yeah,
been kind of all over the place, but it works.
It works. It
Started off
works.
with James
We all
Gunn,
have we
DC.
all have like big personalities. We all love what we talk about,
Yeah.
and we all love what we do. And like we've been all just coming, chatting and hanging out since what May of last year. So when we
Hmm.
have these conversations, it just flows.
Yes, sir.
yeah. We got off topic real fucking quick. All right, so we are at an hour and 4 minutes, guys. You want to call it?
Yeah, let's wrap it. This was
Yeah.
good. This was fun.
All right.
Buy Echoes of the Old Universe out on TikTok Shop and Amazon.
Look for
Yes.
future comics coming soon. I know we have a few issues done for one from another writer of ours, Seth. So hopefully next few months that'll be coming out. Be ready for that. We have more animations coming out from Armani and Eric. More trailers, more just cool ass AMV style shit.
Yes.
Watch out for other stories that we'll be writing individually. Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to episode 7, guys. I know it got
Oh,
crazy, but it is what it is. All right, peace out,
Angel and
guys.
Noah, thanks for having me on.
Of
Appreciate
course.
it.
Mhm.
Always welcome. I'm always happy to come on as a guest. Keep doing what you're doing. For anyone listening, follow us on TikTok,
Mhm.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and join us on Discord. We recently just turned a few of our characters into bots, so you can ask them any question you want and they'll answer to you. They're actually becoming sentient. So if you guys don't hear, if we don't have an episode 8, it's because they took over.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. I
Peace out,
appreciate it.
guys.
Bye.